What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Bike Tyson, and you're now tuned in to Bike Tyson Life Cycles. And today's life cycle is girls ride GIXX-ers too. So I put a little spin on it. Girls ride dick too. Don't get me wrong, but they ride GIXX-ers too. So it's just a little play on words that I thought was kind of funny. I don't know how I'm just freestyling this shit, so don't mind me. But so um my boys, we were just, you know, out and about, and all of a sudden another one of my boys popped up and said, "Yo, did y'all hear about the ride going down?" And this was in Hyattsville. And I was like, "Nah, what y'all talking about?" He was like, "Yo, they having a all female ride." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So we was like, "Let's go crash the party." Obviously, we didn't. We got there, and it was just as many motherfuckers like us there than it was females. So don't get me wrong. It was I would say about a good 25ish to 30 female riders, but the rest was all niggas or dudes. Um, it had to be at least 100 plus bikes out there, and listen, it was basically a takeover. I guess dudes found out about it and it was like, "Hey, we going too." And it was Saturday. We ain't had shit to do. It was hot as hell outside, and that's the best time to be on the bike, just riding around. And this is where we ended up. So we was basically just freestyling, and we all ended up here, and it turned out to be a good motherfucking day, I would say. So when we showed up, it was dirt bikes, four wheelers, cruisers, but mainly sport bikes for the most part. So we was just like, "Yo, this shit kind of lit." So when we got out there, we was like, "Fuck it, we here now. Let's just see what it's hitting for." Now, when you in a group ride like this of this magnitude, you got different riders. You got stunners who like to do wheelies, burnouts, show off type things. You have newbies, which are just new riders, so you kind of got to be aware of them because they could be on scary hours. You know what I mean? One false move, they might bump you and you all fucked up. And you don't know how a lot of these motherfuckers ride, so for the most part, you kind of got to be cautious. Now, I'm used to riding in a group ride because I do it every damn near Wednesday. So I'm kind of alert on certain things. If I see some people getting a little reckless, I kind of just move away, get away from them motherfuckers, man, because it only take one wrong move and you can get fucked up. So for the most part, me and my crew was kind of riding in a pack at first, and then again, I started just taking footage. So you might see three angles in this video. I have a front view, I have a back view, and then I had my helmet cam. So I was just recording and trying to piece it all together, and hopefully it makes sense. Um, but as we were taking off, like I said, it was just a bunch of motherfuckers. It was a whole takeover. So we was basically stopping traffic, holding up traffic, or just interrupting traffic for the most part. And when you see a group of this magnitude coming down the street, you got some people that just get nervous and they just move over to the side. Now, it's power in numbers, like most people say. And again, if you just riding casually and you just see 100 bikers coming your way, you kind of like either you gonna speed up or you gonna move over for the most part. And that's what most people did. They either stopped, moved over, or just got the fuck out the way. And like I said, when you don't know who you riding with, shit happens. And I think like maybe 5 minutes into the ride, um, shit started getting fucked up. Like we don't ride in formation like some groups do, and you just got people that they just do their own thing. And then, once we started off, one dude, I think he was just wheeling and lost control and dropped the bike. And I don't know if he got real fucked up. I just know he fell. And for the most part, you like, damn, that's that's one strike one. And I think I counted about 4 or 5 accidents due to either a bike malfunctioning, a wheelie going wrong, or somebody bumped into somebody. I mean, it just a very it was kind of various things that happened. So, or maybe people bikes overheated. So I was like, yo, I'm just trying to finesse my way through all of this chaos, basically. Now it was 100+ degrees outside, and here's the funny thing, right? The shit was kind of embarrassing for me because I would say maybe about 30 to 45 minutes into the ride, it was that fucking hot where my fucking sneakers melted. Now, anybody who ride bikes, at some point, this may have happened to you. I had on just regular sneakers, and because the engine was hot, the exhaust hot, it's hot as shit outside and humid, my fucking sneakers just, the soles was just melted. That shit looked like I had on fucking sneaker flip flops for the most part. I was like, what the fuck? And it was kind of embarrassing because if anybody that's on a bike, when you put your feet up on the pegs, you got the back of your soles just hanging out, hanging off the pegs, just flopping in the wind. You like, yo, this shit is fucking embarrassing. I know whoever was behind me was like, yo, that nigga barefooted now. But and I ain't had no tape. I didn't had like no duct tape to wrap it up to make it look presentable. I ain't had no crazy glue or nothing like that. That shit was fucking hilarious. But anybody that ride, they someone went through it. So I ain't feel too bad at the end of the day because I was just like, fuck it, shit happens. I mean, you got niggas that was crashing. Fuck, my damn sneakers started melting and the soles came apart. That's what I get. They were some cheap sneakers, but again, I ain't sitting up there wearing no Jordans or no shit like that on no motorcycle. It was just some cheap Amazon sneakers that I had. They say they was supposed to be motorcycle sneakers. Well, that was a fucking lie because, like I said, the fucking glue, you could see the glue just melted off the motherfucking sole. And I was just like, yo, what the fuck I'm gonna do? So in my mind, I'm thinking like, shit, are we gonna pass like a Marshalls or maybe a TJ Maxx or like a Walmart where I could just, take a pit stop, run in there, get some cheap sneaks, for like $20 or something, and throw them motherfuckers on because this shit right here wasn't fucking working for me, and that shit was embarrassing. And most dudes, you know, what I mean, you like, yo, the fuck. Like every time I put my foot down, that shit feel like flip flops, and I'm just like, I I know somebody was clowning me. So if you got that shit on video of my sneakers hanging, send me a picture. Fuck it, I don't care. Hey, I humility is cool with me. Fuck it, I can laugh at my damn self at times, but that's what it was. And like I said, I was trying to play it off, but like just keeping my back heel on the pegs where you couldn't tell. But like I said, every time we came to like a stop, I had to put my foot down, and I know my fucking soul's just dangling, talking to whoever was behind me, like, nigga, it's hot as shit out here, because that's exactly what it was. I think my motorcycle gauge, the temperature, I have a temperature gauge on my motorcycle. That shit was reading like 105 degrees. And that's just outside. So I can imagine what the fuck my engine was running and exhaust was. So that shit had to be damn near 200 because the way it melted them motherfucking sneakers, I was like, yo, this shit for the birds. I think I lost about 5-10 pounds on this fucking ride anyway because it was hot as shit. And and usually in rides like this, I'm fully geared up. Like I got damn near Under Armour everything on. Because again, I never rode with these motherfuckers, so shit, I don't know who reckless, who not, who's newbies, who can't see. I mean, shit, shit just happened. So I was just like, fuck it. It was hot. Um, I had one of my boys. He had on a full fucking tracksuit, so I knew he was about to fall the fuck out in that leather. So I think he ended up making a pit stop, going home, changing, and then meeting us back out because it was that fucking hot. But during the ride, though, right? It was it was a mixture of different riders. Um you had stunners like who do wheelies, burnouts, like they just do tricks on a bike, shit like that. You had newbies, which they just ride slow, but they could be on scary hours at times because again, if you're an experienced rider versus a newbie, you may startle them a little bit and they might fuck up and either side swipe you or bump into you or lose control. So a lot of things like that can happen. Then you have other riders that just don't pay attention to shit and not alert, and they just riding reckless. So you kind of gotta be out for them. Then you got your regular experienced guys. You got your um, cruiser guys, and again, everyone rides different. So I was just trying to keep good spacing between around me, so nobody don't run up, behind me or side swipe me. I'm using my motherfucking mirrors. I'm using my turn signals. Like, yo, I'm coming over. Don't don't speed up because that shit can get real bad real quick. So that's kind of how you got to play it. And for me, like I said, I'm used to riding in group rides, so I'm kind of cognizant of what goes on. And like I said, if I see somebody getting a little bit reckless or they on some other shit, I'm trying to get away from them. So that's just what it come down to. And people was losing control often. Now I'm sure it was either more accidents behind me. I was kind of in the middle of the pack, and I was going back and forth a little bit just to get some good footage to show y'all. But I'm sure either people were crashing, bike malfunctioning, overheating because it was hot as shit, or whatever. But it was a full fucking takeover throughout the DMV area on Saturday. The destination was a bikini bike wash. That was the destination, which was in Laurel. But during the ride, we were just going through different spots, and that was the destination. So again, everybody was for it. It was a good time. Um, like I said, nothing stupid, as far as no deaths or anything like that. I mean, but you just had a couple, chitty chitty bang bangs up in that joint, and that was it. I mean, just wheelies going wrong, or like I said, somebody bumping into each other, stuff like that. And again, I counted a couple motherfuckers that was riding reckless. Now, and this the thing, when you ride, well, not riding reckless, they ride dirty. Now, when I say ride dirty, meaning they no license plates, especially on the dirt bikes. No license plates. I'm sure they ain't got no registration, insurance, and all that good shit. So if they hit you, you kind of fucked up in the game. So you kind of got to be aware of that. And it's power in numbers. So we rode past several cops, but it ain't really shit they can do when you riding in a pack like that. They can't pull everybody over. So it was one cop that kind of just cut us off, and all everybody did was just ride around. I'm like, bro, what the fuck is you doing? You know what I mean? You can't stop 100 motherfucking bikes. That's just what it is. So I ain't seen no helicopters, so that was cool. Um, but yeah, everybody was just riding their own ride for the most part, and we were just going to different spots across the DMV. We ended up riding through a lot of neighborhoods. We ended up riding to the Washington Commanders Stadium in Landover. I'm an Eagles fan, so fuck the Commodores or Commanders or Redskins, whoever you want to call them. So um, but yeah, that's just what it was. I met a lot of cool people at the ride, and like I said, we all share a common, you know, common characteristics when it comes to bikes and common discussions that we talk about doing bikes. So again, it's a good networking tool, I would say, for the most part. So maybe we may have added a couple folks to our group that just like to ride. I mean, and that's cool. And like I said, I'm always for it. As long as they ain't, they on some cool shit, we on cool shit. So that's kind of how I kind of play it. You know what I mean? But what else? Um, Now this is just part one. It's going to be a 2-part series to this joint because I had about 3 hours worth of footage that I'm trying to condense down to like 20 minutes. So just to give you the gist of the ride, and that's just what it come down to. So that's what I was trying to do for the most part. But like I said, it was a little bit of everything out there. Now, shout out to the females that did show up and show out. For the most part, um a lot of the women, and this not to be stereotypical or anything like that, but most of the women, they were riding either, let's just say, a range from a 300cc to maybe a 750. But what surprised me, it was this one chick that I seen. She had a fucking booster. Now I'm like, that's a bad bitch right there. The handle a booster, and she had the shit wrapped on some like a Bugs Bunny wrap on it, which was kind of dope. So the bike, it was a Gen, I think that was a Gen 2. I think it was, yeah, a Gen 2 Hayabusa, and she had it wrapped, and she was handling that booster like, yeah, I do this. I was like, get it, bitch. And I mean, because for me, it's kind of shell shocking when you see, women ride big bikes like that. You know what I mean? Well, at least to me. And it was even a couple times where I seen a couple chicks, they were popping wheelies, doing burnouts and everything. I'm like, oh, these bitches get it in. Like these chicks up here, like you could tell they even got brothers, dad, cousins, something that taught them how to ride, and they practiced this shit. So they was getting it. I was like, oh shit, these bitches. Well, I keep calling them bitches. No offense, but they ride like niggas. I mean, for the most part, or dudes for the most part. And here's one thing I will say though: when you have a female ride like this, most of the dudes, they like to show off a little bit, but they don't get too reckless because they trying to show off for the ladies, I guess, and just try to show them their skills. But it didn't get too reckless because they the way it was organized, all the ladies were up front and all the dudes were basically in the back. So the ladies were leading since it was their ride, their event. So they were up front leading the way to the destination. And we were just kind of doing our shit in the back for the most part. And they had a camera car there, so I'm sure you're gonna get some good footage. I think it's from the DMV Stunners or DMV Bike Riders, something like that, where all the videos will be posted. But yeah, like I said, I know when we got on the highway, it was this one chick, she was popping wheelies on a Grom. I was like, damn, I can't do that shit. So you could tell she was an experienced rider. They were drifting. They were just you you would think she was like a tomboy out this joint, but she was killing it. It was a couple of them like that. And most chicks ride, with some good sense. They don't get too reckless like the dudes do, but they can handle their own. So, more power, ladies. That was a good event. I appreciate, the event, and it was fun. I mean, that's what it's all about. Just riding, having fun, and enjoying, bike life culture and community. And the destination was a a bikini bike wash. So what dude wouldn't like that? You know what I mean? So me and my crew, we got there, enjoyed ourselves, had a couple drinks. The good thing, this was, well, the only thing that kind of threw me off, it was a Latin one. It was like a Latin girls ride. So when we got to the destination, all they was playing like Spanish music and reggaeton and stuff like that. So I really couldn't understand the music, but hey, everybody was having a good time, so we were just like, fuck it, all right, get in where you fit in, nigga. So that's what we did. And it was fun though. I mean, like I said, it's just a different culture. But hey, Latinas and Latinos or Spanish descent, they black people too to me. That's how I look at it. So, and everybody was having a good time, and that's all it came down to. But this is just part one. I'm gonna drop part two, probably tomorrow. I don't know, but this should take a minute to edit all up and get situated. So that's just what it comes down to. But um, it was good. It was a good event, and like I said, we met a lot of cool people, like-minded people, and we all just was having a good time. So I want y'all to stay tuned for two, and hopefully this come out good. I'm just freestyling this shit. So this voiceover is just a freestyle. I mean, it's kind of hard to just talk for 22 minutes, damn near, or 21 minutes on shit that you see, especially if you was already there. And like I said, it was just a good time. But I'm Mike Tyson. You tuned in to Mike Tyson Life Cycles, and the topic was girls ride GIXX-ers. Kind of a name flip on the joint, but I thought it was funny. So fuck it. I hope y'all like it. Peace.